What's up guys, ALLDAYANTHONY, and welcome back to the Civic vlog that you hopefully know and hopefully love. In today's video, we are continuing to improve the look of the Civic with OEM style mudguards.
That won't break me.
Alright, so to be honest, I was not planning on making this video. I figured making an install video on mudguards would not be anything too exciting to watch, and I totally get if you're thinking that right now. However, I reminded myself that the fun in all of this is that I get to bring you guys along for every project on the car, no matter how big or how small it is, because all those small things tend to add up to the larger scale of what it is today, right? Things like doing the front grille or the painted side skirts or the lip, you know, all those little things add up to make it what it is. And to be honest, I've always been a fan of mudguards on Civics, whether it's the EG or the EG models. I think they look awesome. I think it's just a good look. It looks really clean. It also kind of, in the Honda realm of things, right? It gives you that lower look. If you got your Honda guy, you know what I'm talking about. It's just one of those things, but I think it adds to a clean overall look. Now, to give you guys some insight on what these are not OEM necessarily. These are OEM style, and I'll probably be installing more OEM style things on these cars since it's getting harder to find the OEM stuff. I did go to several junkyards to try to find these in good condition. I found them, but most of them were cracked or broken or extremely faded. So I jumped on eBay, of all places, and two places sell these. These are OEM style, basically direct replicas, direct molds of the OEM stuff that you can find on Amazon or eBay for dirt freaking cheap. This whole set right here was 23 bucks shipped, and that's gonna be for the front and the rears, and it comes with the hardware. This is a super easy install. You don't necessarily have to take off the wheels to do this, but I'm going to do it just to make it a little bit easier on me and be able to show you how everything goes in, because it's gonna be kind of hard to fit a camera between that gap there. Super cheap, super affordable, and they feel just like OEM. They're the same material. I couldn't be more happy with them. All right, so before we jump into the install, I do wanna show you one thing I did to kind of help improve upon the look of these already good looking mudguards. Now, everybody knows that these mudguards, when they hit the sun, they fade like a mother. These things don't really have any UV protection or anything on them, so they gray out pretty fast. So what I did is I took a product called Solution Finish, which is a black trim, black rubber, black plastic restorer that actually restores the look of the plastic and adds some protection, meaning that I've added a sacrificial layer of protection to these already new mudguards. So it'd be kind of like ceramic coating a brand new car. And the cool part about this stuff is it actually restores old nasty things. So like if I would have found a pair at the junkyard that was in good shape, that let's just say was, you know, faded or whatever, I could have brought them back to life with this stuff right here and returned them to that black state semi-permanently. This stuff lasts anywhere from 6 months to a year, and it's kind of the go-to in the detailing industry. So it's super simple. I'm just gonna show you an example of kind of what I did here. So it's just called Solution Finish. It's made by a guy named Chris West down in Huntington Beach, California. And we refer to this in the detailing world as black gold. This stuff is absolutely awesome, but it is messy. So if you have a pair of gloves, wear a pair of gloves before you install this. So I just took a little applicator here, add just a little bit on there. You don't need a whole lot. A little bit goes a long way. And we're just gonna take this front mudguard here as an example. So what I'm gonna do, wipe that in. So unlike other dressings or water-based dressings, this is going to be, like I said, a semi-permanent thing. It's not gonna just fade off. So smear it on there, rub it in, and just basically even it all out. So it spreads on really, really thin so you can work it a long way. And this isn't a proper applicator here. This is just something I found on Amazon for my tires. I just utilizing it for this. And wipe it on here. Let it set for a little bit so it can kind of absorb into the pores of the plastic, right? Or absorb into that texture. And then once it sits there for a little bit, that's when you want to take an old ratty towel. This has been pretty used and abused here. And I'm just going to simply wipe it off. Wipe off that excess. But you guys saw how much I put on, but how much that's coming off is very little, meaning that most of that went into the plastic itself. So doing that, and I'm gonna take it out in the sunlight here in a minute just to show you what this looks like. Even though, again, it's brand new. It's brand new. This isn't meant to be some miracle restorer right now because this is a brand new thing, but just look at that. Look how clean that looks. deep, dark. It's got a nice like satin sheen to it. These were pretty matte before, pretty matte black, and that has kind of given it a nice satin look to it. And that's pretty much semi-permanent. It's just gonna stay this way for probably a year before I have to redo them again. But again, it's like a sacrificial layer to where I've done this, now I don't have to ever worry about redressing these or anything like that in that period of time. Oh, by the way, here's the Speed Triple, here's the Evo. This is on the trickle charger right now because that battery's dead. I know this is boring. I know you guys were like, oh my God, this is so boring. But you guys are also the same people that say, Anthony, your Civic's so clean. How do you get it to look so clean? How do you do it to, how do you get it to look like that? This is the shit I do behind the scenes that I don't really post about to make it look clean, if that makes sense. I'm just trying to throw out some education out there and hopefully help some people, but this is the stuff that adds up over a period of time, just like polishing, just like coating, just like anything else, detailing. This is what improves upon the look. So enough talking, you guys already know the spiel, so I'm gonna jack up the front here, get these wheels off, and get these front guards on. All right, so with the wheel off here, giving you guys an idea, pretty simple. We're basically removing this screw, this screw. This screw is already missing, so that's pretty cake. But one thing I do want to point out here, I'm excited about this front mudguard on this specific fender here, mainly for the reason that you can see that my clear coat down here is already beginning to chip. So I got kind of a rock chip right there, and that clear is beginning to peel up in that certain section. Not really much I can do about it. I can take more clear coat over the top of it. I can do something like that and mask it right for a period of time. But I'm pretty sure that this mudguard here is actually going to technically cover that up. Let's see. Yeah, perfect. I'll never have to see that chip again. Nice. That works out perfect. So, all right, so we're just gonna remove those screws there and get this thing popped on. So I guess to give everybody an update on the coils so far, they are extremely dirty. They're literally just covered in sand and rocks and all sorts of crap. But I've been driving on them, rain, snow, shine, you name it, and they've been awesome. They've been holding up great. I am rubbing a little bit on my fender here, and it's only rubbing under certain conditions, and I really don't even know how to describe it. It's like I'll rub if I'm at a certain angle with just amount of pressure on the front, it'll slightly I'll hear a little like rub, and that's it, and it's gone. And I'll get over that bump or whatever it is. But under daily driving, they don't rub at all. Rears are fine. So we'll have to see with time, but down the road, I may look into getting a front camber kit and a rear camber kit if I need to, and potentially go even lower. All right, well, there's number one. So that looks good. I'm pretty stoked on that. I literally, OEM fit, perfect fit, whatever you want to call it. I mean, literally just these three screws here. The hardest one to get in was this one right here. That's because you have to pull that fender liner a little closer and get that hole lined up. But other than that, I started here, went to here, finished here, tightened them down, and that looks awesome. So we'll get the other side knocked out. So, just finished up with the fronts there. Still gotta hit that e-brake so it can roll forward and settle a little bit more. But yeah, guys, super subtle. Gosh, you can see that's just I'd probably imagine 2 fingers, about 3.5 fingers from the ground. And like I always say, if it takes more than 2 fingers, it's not good. Yeah, anyways. All right, so really quick, a little bit of a debacle. I've been kind of finagling things here for like the last 20 minutes. So I came across an issue with this rear mudguard. So first off, it's freezing cold in my garage, and that plastic it's not very pliable. So right now I have it sitting in front of a heater here to kind of warm it up so I can soften it up, because basically you have to squeeze it over this bumper here. If you were very peculiar about your paint and really cared about scratching things, this would be a little bit of an issue because it's a super tight fit. But as you can see, I got chunks of paint missing out of the rear bumper. I need a new rear bumper anyways, so this is just part of the thing. The other problem that I came across is, if you can see right here, guys, there's a little square hole. Now, with the OEM kit, this is the trade-off, right? The OEM kit comes with a little retainer, a little spring clip thing to where you can thread your typical screw through and it fits right in and you're good to go. Otherwise, you just have a blank little hole there. The problem is, this kit did not come with that, so I just have a hole to where I can mount here. I cannot mount anything to here. So that's what we have to figure out. So what I've done is I just fished through some old bolts. I actually found this from the Civic somewhere. Anyways, so what this is, little bolt, nut on the back. This is going to thread through on this side. I'm gonna come around the back side, thread that over. We're good to go. And it's even color matched to the body. See how that works out? So I'm gonna warm that up, try to fit this over the top, and if I can get that mounting point from here to here, I'm good to go. And then I might have to drill one of these holes out right here, which is already kind of pre-drilled. Not a problem, but I just wanna see what I have to do next. So I was gonna break out the Milwaukee toolkit and justify the excuse to use it, but these little self-tapping screws are pretty easy, so I just kind of applied some pressure, and they're already pre-drilled, dented holes there, so all you do is just press up against it and start pushing them through. So, all right, so that screw is through that side. We're just gonna come over here. I'm just gonna kind of hang it in there for right now. Get that on there like that. And then find that screw that I just drilled. Here's done, and it looks good. I think that kind of takes away from that giant paint chip there in the rear and makes it look a little nicer, right? Spices it up a little bit. All right, so gonna get the other side knocked out, and that'll be a wrap, guys. So let's get through it. All right, guys, so that is it. All of the mud guards are on. So I say we back it out into the sunlight and see how this thing looks. All right, all right. Yeah, dude, that looks good. All right, so it's a little dark out here. So forgot to film an outro earlier, so I'm gonna knock it out now. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys liked this video. I thought the mud flaps added a nice little OEM touch to the car, and I think it looks cleaner, right? It's the little things, and that's kind of what I want to show in this video. But if you guys like this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below for more, and as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. It's ALLDAYANTHONY. Peace.